Cleveland Monsters are the talk of the town right now after making some big moves last weekend at the trade deadline. They have now won 14 games in a row and are threatening to run away with the Western League. Tonight, they will face an opponent, try and keep that winning streak going in the Texas Stars. It is Thursday Night Hockey, Cleveland and Texas, right here on LG and the YouTube channel. Hi, everyone. TSIBS with you, and we're in for a nice, fun game tonight as the Cleveland Monsters continue to run over opponents this week. And Dallas has improved their team and has done well, but they're going to hit a juggernaut tonight. And will they be ready to face a formidable lineup? I'm with GOOSECHUK as usual. He'll be calling all the action tonight. And Goose, we certainly have a big game that is, everyone's going to be watching just because it's Cleveland. And they have just been amazing so far this season. And after those moves over the weekend, a lot of talk about it in the chat box. A lot of guys really getting on 4-H Pestilence case about the moves that were made. We're going to try and talk to him over the weekend on the weekend show. We couldn't get him tonight, but it's interesting how people feel. But things within the rules. This is what LG allows, and they also were moving for the future. And I think Pest did what he needed to ensure that he had some good draft picks coming up next season. Meanwhile, he's given Cleveland a huge advantage now in this league.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it is, I guess, if you're anyone competing directly in the division with Cleveland or a team that's going to face them in the playoffs, that you think you're going to run up against them, you're definitely going to have your gripes about something like this. But, if you are part of any other team that this happened to, you would be in full support of the owner. You'd be in full support of the owner's decision. You'd be very excited to have such a juggernaut of a team. So I think on the outside looking in, it's easy to bash Pestilence and bash Cleveland and Columbus for what happened. But I really don't think it's, I think it's something that if you were part of that team, you would have no problem with it, and you'd be pretty damn excited to have a serious chance at the Calder Cup.
And certainly Cleveland, great team beforehand, and certainly now with guys who are up in Columbus who were doing fairly well, but not well enough to really get them anywhere near the playoffs, it seems. It was Pestilence decision to go ahead and try and get something for players he was going to wind up losing anyway. Hey, look, this is what happens in the league. This is what happens for real in the league. It's tough for the guys who've been there all season, who were helpful in making this team successful. But in the end, I think you have to make moves like this if you're going to stick around. And Pestilence certainly plans on it. He's trying to make his NHL team good as well. And I think you have to have a certain mindset for it. He at least went ahead and got his guys, the ones the players he traded. He got them to good teams, to contenders. He didn't drop them off on teams who had no chance, and so I think you have to give him some credit for that.
Yeah, absolutely. If LG allows you to do something like this, if you're easily able to, then why not? I mean, Columbus obviously wasn't in a position to seriously contend. So you might as well try to get the best pick you possibly can rather than, miss the playoffs by a handful of games and say get like the 9th or 10th pick when you could get a top 5 pick or something, right. And if the season's lost, then absolutely look forward to next season because what else are you supposed to do? You have to prepare. Once one season's over, you're working on the other one, and obviously Pestilence believes his season is theoretically over a little earlier than everyone else's, so you might as well get that jump start in any way possible to get your team prepared for next season. And I think this does a number of things, but also the guys who get sent down who can help bring this Cleveland team hopefully a Calder Cup. That's a huge confidence booster to them as well because, when you play well, no matter what league you're in or the quality of competition, unless you're playing 2-year-olds, you're going to feel pretty good about yourself if you're putting up 3 goals a game, 4 or 5 points a game. You're going to feel good. And it's not like the AHL is terrible competition either. It's not NHL level necessarily, but when you get to those, the Western Conference Finals and the Calder Cup Finals, you're going to be playing some really good talent, some really good lines. So I don't see a problem with this in that sense, and I think Pestilence is doing, like you said, the best for his team, and that's exactly what he needed to do.
Take a look at the Western Conference standings, and you see Cleveland now at 101 points, a 14-game winning streak, only 9 losses on the season. Obviously a good lead on the Wild right now, who are still playing well, but are 5 points back of Cleveland, and they're going to need to really win a lot to try and keep pace with them if they have any prayer of taking first in the Western Central. And then from there, it is a 3-team race right now, maybe 4 if Rockford really gets into gear. But between Chicago, Charlotte, and Manitoba, it is a close race with Charlotte 5 points up on the other 2 teams. But Charlotte is the last loss that the Cleveland Monsters faced. And so, they are a team that is playing much better hockey and have been able to play well against their opponents. I apologize. It was actually Providence who beat Cleveland last, but I know that there was a close game between Iowa and Cleveland this week. Actually, not close. It was 7-3. Okay, I'm screwing up left and right here. I'm trying to think. It was Charlotte actually, who I was trying to talk about. Charlotte had a 1-goal loss to Cleveland last night, 5-4 loss to the Monsters, and so Charlotte, able to play with them fairly well. Most of the other games this week were not so close, including a week starting game against the Chicago Wolves, beating them 13-6 to make a statement right out of the gate. And so Cleveland, just trying to gear up and get guys ready. And we talked a little bit last week, Goose, about what do you do? Do you make this kind of move? Are you concerned about chemistry of the team? But Cleveland is so far ahead right now. They've got time to make chemistry and make these guys familiar with each other in time for the playoffs.
Well, yeah, chemistry is a huge thing, but also you got to take into effect the overall skill of the players and the fact that winning makes everything easier. I think chemistry goes a long way, but sometimes pure skill just outweighs it. If you have guys, especially players coming out from the NHL, and if they're just that good, it shouldn't matter if they hate each other or not. You're going to see them have success to at least some degree. And then, positive vibes in general. If you're winning games, you're going to have just that positive locker room vibe. If someone gets traded to you, somebody gets sent down to you, you're going to be nothing but happy because you're going to, in this case, an extremely dominating team that's only lost 14 games in the entire season, and quadrupled that amount in wins almost. So Cleveland definitely is in a good place. Obviously, I think the matchup tonight is going to be a real test to them with the line that Texas is throwing out. But chemistry is a huge thing, absolutely. And I think we'll really see the chemistry factor come in during the playoffs when every win matters probably twice or 3 times as much. And one loss, you'll see how they react, if they get frustrated, if they start bickering at all. I think that's really where we'll see the chemistry factor come into play. But for the regular season, especially this point where they're really safe and they really don't have to worry too much, I think they'll play to their strengths and they'll, just like you said, gain chemistry on the fly.
You were with the Rockford team a couple of seasons ago, correct?
Yes.
And that was a team that had a ton of talent, and I don't think anyone really expected them to run into a lot of competition. They wound up having to deal with some good competition in Charlotte and then in the finals as well against Hartford. When you're in that position and you're on a team that a lot of people believe is that good and should win it all, did you feel any added pressure when that was happening with you and Rockford in season 2?
A little bit, yes, because I knew, again, our crew of guys, we played club together. We managed to get all in Rockford together, so we knew going in that we would have a serious chance of playing well, and regardless of any of the second tagging issues or whatever that's come up about it. I really don't think it was that overwhelming of a difference. I think the Rockford team as a whole was so good together just because we had so much chemistry from playing for a couple of years together. But there was definitely added pressure because despite that, we knew other teams were really good. I mean, Hartford took us to 7 games.
Yeah.
They were a huge matchup. I remember I think I was like 2-5 in the playoffs. I just couldn't. I mean, I think I'm a better player now than I was then, but I just could not figure a way to help the team get wins. They were all, I think, 1-goal losses. So especially, and then we went to the playoffs as I think we were President's Trophy. I can't remember, but we were one of the top teams and a lot of buzz around Rockford. So yeah, you definitely feel that pressure because you want to show, yeah, we deserve to be here. Yes, we're as good as our record shows. Yes, we're as good as our stats show. So I would imagine Cleveland's in the same boat, and that's why I said when they get to the playoffs, that's really where that chemistry is going to be tested, because if they drop one game in overtime, maybe a defenseman makes a bad pass and it's a breakaway and they score, will the goalie lip off? Will one of the forwards say something? Hey, don't make that pass. That was a dumb pass. Whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's really where we'll see it tested, because everyone is, really going to be on their toes for Cleveland, trying to make sure they can finish the season strong.
And that's what I would, that's the reason why I asked you that question, is because it definitely it definitely is a concern that your guys might get overconfident. That other teams, like you said, are gunning for you. They're trying to play their best against you without question. I mean, I know guys think that they're playing hard all the time, but when you go up against a team that you expect, you think that they believe they're going to run you over, that gets you fired up. And I think Cleveland's going to wind up having to deal with that for the rest of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. And then, and not even that, it works both ways. You win games when you are the best, and you just get that confidence back. Like, yes, we're backing ourselves up. We're playing to our fullest. But then, like you mentioned, anybody even just game 1 or game 2, you get knocked off. I remember Rockford, I think we went down 2-0 to Hartford to start the series, if I remember right. And it was just that Hartford was on their high horse there. That was huge to go up. So no matter whether it's round 1 or the Calder Cup Finals, if someone's able to take the first game off of them, that's almost like a mini Calder Cup championship right there, because the team they're facing is going to be so excited that they were able to knock off the Monsters and realize we have a game in hand now, and there's a little less pressure on them and a little more confidence and focus on going out and finishing the series.
Well, we're a few minutes away, but let's from the start of the game. But let's talk a little bit about the other team in this one, the Texas Stars, who 35-23-4. Any team that plays Cleveland winds up being a footnote right now, but they're having a good season. They've won 3 in a row, as you see. 8-0-2 in their last 10. They've been playing incredibly good hockey of late. Some good management over there, and some solid players on this Texas team, and they're starting they're pretty much their top line tonight. They have a ton of talent. They've got good goaltenders in Reaper who will be playing in tonight's game, and they also have Jeff Hooley as well. But with Apollo and Steel City on defense tonight, Toasty, Crazy, and Fucked playing up on forward, they're no pushover. And again, these are one of those teams that they are solid. They know they're a pretty good club. They're going up against Cleveland, and everyone expects them to get run over. And this could, they got nothing to lose tonight, but to play a game maybe that Cleveland isn't expecting and come out with some offensive plays that perhaps Cleveland is not looking for. Maybe they have an idea of how Texas is going to play, but this is a golden opportunity, Goose, for Texas to go out there and try and do something very different to throw Cleveland off. I think really that's your best shot to maybe surprise them and get a quick lead tonight.
Yeah, for sure, and I think this is the perfect matchup. And Texas is safe because they know they're a good team. They know they're on a good run. You said 8-0-2 in their last 10, and they're putting out a really, really good line that could easily match Cleveland's if they're playing on their game. By the math I just did in my head a minute ago, Texas got 166 points between those front lines, or it tells me right below, too. That works. I just did all the hard work. 166 points with the forwards to 173 of the Monsters, so they're only 7 points behind. That's, a pretty solid producing front three. Their defense is solid in Steel City and Apollo, and they have a goalie in Reaper's Rage who's definitely not playing as well as Optimus Rhyme, but you got to think of Optimus Rhyme, who he's playing behind in that powerhouse of a Monsters team. So I think Texas is in a good spot. It's coming. It's this Thursday game. The end of the week Thursday game, since there's only one on the night, it does seem a little less prevalent than the earlier games in the week. At least for me, it seems like, oh, that's the Thursday game. It seems a little different than the other games where you get two in a night. So I think if they can catch them early off their game, that being the Stars, and they can get out front by a goal or two in the first period, I think the Stars have a serious chance of winning this game, regardless of the streak the Monsters are on, regardless of the lineup they're putting out. It's just momentum. If you can get that momentum, have confidence in your players, you can easily take a game off anybody. That being said, Cleveland could do the same thing, and it could, if Cleveland gets out to a 2-goal lead early, Texas could just get that mindset in. Wow, these guys are good, and they're gonna run over us tonight. And the next thing you know, it could be a 7-0 or 7-3 game like we saw against Iowa. So it definitely could go either way. But Texas is doing their best, and I like that they're putting out a top line against Cleveland. They're not going short with their third line or something because they're not confident. They're pretty confident right now to show that to put out the line they're putting out, that they can take down Cleveland.
And just looking at some of the stats for the Texas Stars, crazy try, leading the team in points with 58, 25 goals, 33 assists, and 21 plus 21. Fucked and Toasty right behind him with 54 points each. So the top three scorers on Texas are playing tonight, and it'll be it'll be a pretty much a best against the best. Syrup, Deer Hunter, and Big Freeze certainly a big line for the Cleveland Monsters going up tonight as well. And with as you mentioned, goaltender on Cleveland, Optimus Rhyme, going tonight. A good goaltending matchup in this one. Good defense. I mean, I'm not seeing, as I looked over the lineup and looked over the stats and just got a feel for what was going on and who was playing. I'm having a hard time figuring out where there's a weakness that you can exploit on either one of these teams. This may very well be a 2-1 game, a 3-1, 3-2 kind of game.
It absolutely could be. I think, again, both the five skaters, I think, are really evenly matched. Obviously, you'll give Cleveland the edge just based on their overall success as a team, being able to win, even if they have a weak link. They'll be able to be carried and just fit in and find their role with the team this good overall. I think the real, not necessarily weakness, but the place that could be exploited the most probably is Texas goaltending. 3.22 goals against and a 77 save percentage, and that's not to say that LKG is having is a bad goalie or even having a bad year, but if your guys in front of you aren't as up to par as Cleveland's are, in their defense and back checking in general from the forwards, right, then that's going to lead to a lot of high scoring chances for Cleveland. And based on how well they played all year, they must not miss those too often. So Reaper's Rage has to be on top of his game in net, as does any sort of defense from Texas. They really need to get back in time, limit the odd man rushes, and try their best to limit any scoring chances that Cleveland can get, make them create them on their own. Cleveland will, so you need to force their hand, keep them to the outside, and really, really make Cleveland work to get any goals or shots on net in general.
As you see the team for Cleveland getting ready, we want to thank Siege87 for providing the feed for us tonight. And as you see, no change in their lineup with Freeze, Deer Hunter, and Syrup on the front line for them, Shirk and Siege have been geared for this game from the beginning. So they are starting tonight, and probably, well, again, hard to say if they are the best defensive pairing for this team. They are one of the best for sure. So
Yeah.
it's the type of competition we've seen, and you've said it yourself. It's been, I looked at all the games going on this week, a lot of divisional games, obviously, and it was very interesting to see the level of competition and all the really good matchups that were going on this week. I don't know if I've seen this kind of competition league-wide in the first 3 seasons the way I'm seeing it now.
Yeah, it's really fun. It's this season we've seen, the top teams in the league start to spread away, mainly in the Western Central. There's no way Chicago's getting that second seed from Iowa. So you see, the gap in a division like that. But then in a division like the Eastern North with Toronto, I mean, they were dominant all season long. And then Syracuse and Binghamton really start turning the Jets on, and now they're within 7 and 8 points, respectively, of
Right.
Toronto, and could easily run them down for the number one seed. So, and then in the middle of the divisions, Eastern Atlantic, Providence, and Bridgeport battling for 3 and 4. So it's really, even if it's not top teams, it's certainly been great competitiveness from the teams.
Well, the game's about to start here as you see Texas and Cleveland, and GooseChuck with the play-by-play tonight.
Well, here we go. Game of the week here for Thursday night hockey. Cleveland Monsters and the Texas Stars. Cleveland will be skating up the screen, and the Stars will be skating down. Tie up off the opening draw battle, and we have a sleeping forward that is fucked, and he is just holding onto the puck. So we'll see what happens here. Quick dump in attempt. And Cleveland's going to keep going. Why not? You have that advantage.
He's moving now.
Yeah, there we go. So Texas is going to turn it around. They're going to bring it up the side. Here comes Crazy up the left. Nice hit there by Shirk. Turnover and an offside by Fucked. So face off here on the left side. Won by Texas. Over to Steel City. Dumped in by the Stars. And a quick turnaround. Cleveland now bringing the puck up the ice. That's Big Freeze on the side. Nice hit there by Steel City. Texas brings it down. Up to Steel City. Can't get a shot on that. Looks like he tried to cancel a pass or something. And lost it in a slap shot by Crazy. Banks in barely off the pad and off the post and in the net. Not much room there, but he makes it work. And Cleveland attempting to answer quickly. They're going to bring it in. They have numbers. Puck behind the net. Syrup now goes for the wrap, and they'll score. So just like that, Cleveland ties it up 1-1, 4 minutes and 58 seconds in. And that's a big answer there for Cleveland. Definitely what they needed. Didn't want the Stars to get too much momentum. Cleveland bringing it up once again. Deer Hunter takes it to the middle, over to Shirk. Shirk slap shot on net. Save down behind the net. Deer Hunter out front to Big Freeze. Can't make it happen. Nice save there. Just missed the open net, and a cover by LKG.
I may be wrong about this game. It may be a little more high scoring than I thought, as both teams are finding opportunities, moving the puck well. And, again, that wraparound was brutal. Almost got another one there on that play. And so now Cleveland again deep in the Texas zone.
Face-off, big win there by Deer Hunter. One-timer by Shirk. Nice shot there. Can't make it happen. Texas will start bringing it up. That's Crazy. Cutting to the middle. He's going to bank pass it off. And Steel City will dump it in just past the goaltender. Cleveland gets his siege up to Deer Hunter. It'll go over to Syrup. Down behind the net. Tripped out in front. Cleveland able to keep possession, though. And a quick dump by Shirk there will draw the penalty. 2-minute power play here for the Monsters.
You cannot give them these kind of opportunities.
You cannot, but a great play there defensively by Steel City. The move down the ice. Siege now.
Apollo and Steel are a solid defenseman, and they're really going to have to be on the top of their game tonight.
And they've been playing well so far. And here's a penalty kill opportunity here for Texas. Can't make it happen. That was Toasty out front. Cleveland attempting to get into the zone. Can't make it happen. Battle in the neutral zone. Texas doing a great job here. Crazy's going to bring it in. Attempts the shot. A nice poke to get the puck away. And now we're up to Syrup again. Nice spin move over to Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter drops it back. Shot on net, saved. Picked up by Syrup. He'll hold the puck. Comes in from the side. Wrist shot attempt, no. Rebound, no. And a great kill there by Texas. And they're able to turn that right away into a rush. Down behind the net. Out front, slap shot. Odd shot, but it did go on net. As Cleveland will try to turn this around and bring it up. Syrup down low. Doesn't go up top, goes back to Deer Hunter, back to Syrup. Nice play behind the net there. Trying to get Texas out of position, and a great pickup there by Steel City. Not allowing that one-timer to get through. Deer Hunter out front. Over to Syrup. Back to Siege. Siege dangling through, can't get the shot off. Nice block at the blue line, but cannot keep it in the zone. Just barely missed that one. And we have another penalty on the Stars. Not sure if that was interference or what it was, but...
So far, the Stars defensively have been clogging up that slot, trying to take away those cross-eyes pass, but and they've done pretty well with it so far, and that's really probably going to have to be the key, as you see, like 3-4 men right there in the slot, stopping any movement of the puck there.
That's what you'll need to do. Toasty now brings it up the ice. Wrist shot on net. Odd rebound behind. It's going to be won by Crazy. Still holding on to the puck. Still has it.
Wow.
Out front. What a save. Barely able to knock that puck out. That looked like it was going 5-hole. And Optimus Rhyme had to move a lot there, and somehow it didn't get knocked into the net. So a great save there. Nice job by Rhyme saving the Monsters a penalty kill goal.
That's your good goaltender right there. The one who keeps his cool, doesn't overreact, doesn't move too much, and really no place to go with that shot. Ryan was right there for it.
Syrup up to Freeze. What a save by Reaper's Rage. Glove side. That was wide open, and Freeze must be disappointed there. Wrist shot on net by Shirk. Loose puck. Covered up by Rage again.
Bouncing rebounds all around, but Rage is there for him, and again, he also is keeping some pretty good position right now.
Tie up off the draw, going to go deep into Texas's zone. Barely gets it out, does Apollo, but he's going to move it up to Toasty. He'll get a rush, and it's poke checked away by the Shirk and Siege tandem.
Well, we started this period out pretty quickly, but it has calmed down now, and it'll come to a 1-1 tie here after one.
And yes, that will do it. 1-1 after one for Texas and Cleveland. Definitely a great start by the Stars. You can see the period stats here. Cleveland with 8 shots to Texas's 5, and about 2 minutes more time in attack for Cleveland. But you see that passing percentage up. And obviously, the 1 goal for Texas, so despite the time on attack lacking, they were able to make 1 shot count.
And getting the quick lead that lasted all of about 28 seconds as Syrup followed up with a goal right after it to tie the game up at 1. But then it really settled down there, and some good defense by Texas is keeping this at a 1-1 game so far.
Absolutely. Another tie-up off the center here to start the second period. Gets dumped in there by Toasty. Battle in the corner. It's going to be won by Siege.
The way Toasty and Crazy are playing here, and the forechecking and really throwing off the passing for Cleveland also has been a big help.
Certainly has. Deer Hunter now with the puck getting fancy. He's going to draw a tripping penalty. Puck out front, though, and it's going to be touched by Texas. So third power play chance here for Cleveland. Unable to capitalize on the first 2. We'll see if they can get a nice goal to start off the second period here. Another tie-up off center. We've seen mostly tie-ups here on the face-offs. Back up top to Shirk, over to Siege. One-timer goes wide off the pad. Down below to Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter back to Syrup. Looking for that cross-ice one-timer, but they're doing a great job covering it. Patience now back up to the point. Down low to Syrup. Looks for another one-timer to Shirk. Can't make it happen. Slap shot by Freeze goes much wide. Siege able to keep it in, though. Wrist shot on net goes off the pads. Looked like it went 5-hole, but bounced out. Here comes Syrup rushing in just wide as he hit the goaltender, looked like. Didn't get a clean shot off.
And in that sequence, Apollo 77 stayed right by the crease, right on the corner, didn't move much, and really made it tough for Cleveland to make any passes.
Certainly did. A great penalty kill once again, but Deer Hunter right out in front. Looks for the one-timer pass, can't make it happen. Again, Cleveland still keeping it in. But regardless of the time of attack, yeah, there you go. A great job by Texas. Regardless of the time of attack, they're not letting up any real good opportunities. But they're going to try to answer right now. Fuck tries to pass it out front, cannot make it happen. Cleveland quick in transition, 2v2. And another tripping penalty on Texas.
Well, they're poking and prodding for the puck, but they've taken a few penalties because of it. Defense, again, Apollo Steel City doing a fine job. I like Apollo a lot as a defender. Plays solid and plays very fundamentally well.
And it looks like we have a lag out on Cleveland's side. I believe it's Big Freeze. Unless there was something I missed. We got a right-hander now at right wing. I believe Big Freeze has lagged out. So
yeah.
They'll play out this period, so a bit of a disadvantage, but sometimes those AI players like to snipe them. One-timer by Shirk off the draw, can't make it happen. Tosti's going to bring it up here. Attempt to get a little momentum going in the PK. Patient around and a pass out front. A nice try there. Unable to connect.
One thing I love about the AI player, if he comes in on a breakaway, he's not going to deke you. So that's always a benefit to the goaltender.
It is. Absolutely is. 52 seconds remaining. Cleveland's fourth power play of the game. Second of the period. A nice play by the AI. Going to result in a potential 3-on-2. Broken up, though. Great play by Steel City. Steel City Apollo staying patient. Steel City, there you go. He gets the puck. Intercepts a pass. Fuck will start to bring it in. He'll pass it back. I don't believe that was on purpose, but it'll kill the rest of the power play regardless. Right up to Crazy. Cannot make anything happen as he exits the box.
There's a play earlier by Deer Hunter when he was spinning around in front, right in a slot with the puck, and just too much playing with it, not getting a shot off.
So 10 minutes left, 10:06 to be specific, as Texas goes offside. Still 1-1. Now, obviously, with the lag out at the end of the period, going into the third, Texas will have a chance on the power play. So we'll see if they can get a lead going into the third period to make that even more beneficial power play. Cleveland, though, bringing the puck up. That is Syrup once again on that left side. Left side has been open for him, so they're giving it to him. Wrist shot on net, rebound wide, can't make it happen. Apollo takes the puck, and he'll pass it up to Crazy. Transition here for the Stars.
Reapers.
Around the net.
I'm sorry, there you go.
Oh, there you go. There's the goal. Toasty down in the corner. Fuck passes it up to Toasty, and he's able to get that low wrist shot on net. So a great play there by the Texas forwards. 2-1, 8:14 left. Texas can smell success in this game. They're playing extremely well, exactly what they need to do. Patient on defense, and it's resulted in them getting 2 goals. And here comes another big rush by the Stars. Over to Fuck wrist shot, can't make it happen.
I was just going to say before that Reaper was, again, taking advantage of his good defenders, not overplaying, not playing the corners of his net a lot, just staying in the middle and just, trying to give them as little as they can to shoot on.
For sure, he's done a great job. And the AI Green really taking it there. 2 shots on net. Gets his own rebound, tries to make something happen. Cannot follow through, though. Texas will regroup here. That's Apollo. Bring it around to Steel City. Steel City gets hit, able to bounce off it. Great forecheck there by Deer Hunter. Here comes the AI. Wrist shot goes wide. Syrup and Deer Hunter on the forecheck, but can't make anything of it. Crazy now trying to respond. Wrist shot on net. Great save there. No rebound opportunity either. That's what the Stars were looking for.
But that's got to throw Deer Hunter and Syrup off a little bit with having an AI player, because you're really just, it can be pretty good, but you don't know what he's going to do.
Exactly, and very finicky with the AI, whether you call for the puck or not, because they seem to panic. Tie up an attempted one-timer, cross pass, and that goes in. So Fuck will get credit for that goal. They failed at the one-timer attempt. That was great defense by Siege there, but a pass goes towards the goalie and off of Shirk into the net. So a tough break there for Cleveland. They got a big hole to dig out of, especially going down a man at the start of the third period.
Little trouble handling that puck right in front of your net.
Yeah.
That is always deadly.
That's the scariest thing for a defenseman in this league. It's so tough to handle that puck. Another great opportunity by the Stars here. Cleveland, 20 seconds left. Last opportunity. AI takes it awkwardly in, dumps it wide. See if they can do anything. Tie up Deer Hunter, gets the puck behind the net. But a great job there by Steel City to take the puck and take it away. Or that was Toasty, I believe.
Yeah. Boy, Toasty's been all over the ice tonight.
Yeah, great job there on the back check by Toasty. So we're going to get a reset of the game to get Big Freeze back in. But a serious difference in time and attack. Cleveland was 7 minutes, and they've had some decent opportunities to the 2:31 of Texas. But with a little luck on their third goal, Texas has really just, had one or two really good opportunities. They just capitalized. Cleveland's had a bunch of decent to good opportunities, but great play in net by Reaper's Rage, and just some missed opportunities by Cleveland has resulted in the 3-1 lead as we head into the third period.
The front line of Toasty, Crazy, and Fuck all have 1 goal, 1 assist in this game, so good distribution of the puck, moving it around amongst themselves. And I got to say, I am incredibly impressed with that front line of Texas, especially Crazy and Toasty. Their forechecking has been tremendous. They have stopped so many plays from coming out of the Cleveland defensive end, and have turned a few of them into offensive opportunities. And that's it. You cannot sit back and wait for Cleveland to attack. You've got to attack them and throw them off their game. And I think that works for a lot of people, but it certainly is worked tonight for Cleveland. They have been able to, for Texas, they have been able to really be on the attack and make Cleveland think about where they're putting the puck. They are now a bit apprehensive about their passing, and you can see that. Once they get into the Texas zone, they are back to their normal, aggressiveness offensively, but they're just having trouble getting out of their own zone at times.
Yeah, absolutely. And you wonder if any of this, we saw a couple nice chances by Big Freeze, but you wonder if the lag out was completely random or it was actually something that had been bothering him during the entire game that could have affected the Monsters' production offensively, since he's such a big part of it. But regardless of that, there's still 4 other players on the ice. And I think Texas has done a great job shutting them down, working off of any turnovers, turning it into transition, and getting pucks on net. And not just getting pucks on net to have pucks on net, but they're taking smart shots when they should take them. They're not overthinking it too much. Obviously, you can see with the time and attack difference, if they see a good opportunity, they don't think about it. They just take the shot and see what can happen. And I think that's definitely where they're benefiting. As Cleveland is, I think they're getting too much time in the zone, and they really don't know what to do with it. You saw a lot of the time on the power play, Syrup was kind of just sitting down in the corner looking for one-timer pass over to Big Freeze, which it's certainly a high chance that'll happen. But when Texas has been clogging the slot the entire game, I think that's something you need to shy away from, at least. The skill of the players on the Monsters, they don't need to force it to one specific play. They can work behind the net, try to get Reaper's Rage to move. You can try to, get a wrap, move it up to the top to Siege or Shirk and get a one-timer. They have plenty of opportunities, plenty of different options, and it seemed like they just kept going back to the same couple moves.
They're going to be getting a ECU for free. Apparently, he's having some big issues.
Oh, wow.
So he's not going to be back in for the third period, and that certainly is going to hurt Cleveland if they're going to have any attempt to come back here and be competitive. We'll see who they wind up getting and try and get you some information on that player as soon as we hear anything about who that might be. But right now, unfortunately, they're losing their GM and one of their best players for the rest of this game. Texas already with the 3-1 lead at this point. Just going over the scoring again in the first period, it was crazy, putting Texas up on top 1-0 at 4:30, but about 28 seconds later, it was Syrup tying it up and making it 1-1, and that's the only Cleveland goal we've seen so far. In the second period, it took a good half period before we were able to see Toasty get involved in the scoring at 11:46 to make it 2-1, and then fucked with a goal at 18:07, giving Texas their 3-1 lead at this point. So, again, we saw a lot of play for a good part of the first period. After things settled down after the first 5 minutes, it was a lot of back and forth. And it was, a lot of settling down. They came out running and gunning, both teams. And then after the first 2 goals, I think they got a little bit apprehensive and decided to hold on and just wait and feel out each other defensively. But I got to tell you, Texas, I haven't seen much of them this season, but I'm very impressed with this front line and their defense, Steel City, and especially Apollo. We've seen him play incredibly well in the past season or two. And again, this Texas team, if the rest of the defense is this solid, they have a good shot to really be there deep in the playoffs, especially the way they're showing tonight against Cleveland. They absolutely are a team that has to be reckoned with and taken seriously.
Oh, for sure. And Texas is in a good spot again. They can be comfortable with their playoff position. I believe they have about a 10 or so point lead over to our 8-point lead over Tucson. So, and potentially 10 if they can win tonight with a Tucson loss. So, I think Texas is comfortable. If they're able to knock off Cleveland tonight, they know their potential. So I think this is certainly a confidence booster, but as well as a serious measuring stick game for them going forward. And they've dominated earlier this week, 8-0-2 in their last 10. So they're riding that high note, and I think that's really helped them as they head into this game.
Well, their ECU is showing up, and let's see. I'm not. It's iChirp 18, which I don't know an awful lot about.
I got his stats up here. Chirp so far 2-0 with Lake Erie or Cleveland, in call-ups with 2 assists. In the CHL this season, he's 10-6-1 with 41 points. So definitely a solid player they're bringing up, playing with what I believe is Cleveland's top line. So, you're putting him in a really good position to have success. Hopefully he can find comfort quickly and make an impact, because they are down 3-1 going into this period and going to be on the penalty kill to start it off. So, big turnaround here for Cleveland is needed, but it all starts with a nice kill on the penalty.
As you see, the teams are now gathering, so we'll get going here for the third and final period, and whatever happens here, unless a goaltender lags out, we're going to finish this one to the end, and thankful to these two teams for getting it together pretty quickly.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think we're good to go moving forward here.
And one more disappointing benefit, again, of this sort of restart is Cleveland doesn't get the benefit of a slow clock at the end of the first period, or the third period, really, since it's the first period. So they really don't have that true last minute. They're working about, I would say, probably a minute or so less, it feels like, with a fast minute to end the period. So Cleveland definitely in a tough spot.
And so, Chirp takes the penalty here to start this period off.
That went nice. I've had a couple Xbox games where we've had to restart 3 or 4 times because people don't know how to dump over the boards. So that's definitely beneficial. And a poke check there.
Yeah.
Puck loose. Yeah, that was an interesting.
Don't know what Ryan was doing there. He wasn't going down on the butterfly to try and cover it.
Definitely a close call there. Here's Deer Hunter getting it in deep. As Cleveland attempting to get a bit aggressive here on the penalty kill. Deer Hunter out front. Just misses that one-timer. And here comes the response by Texas. Can't make it happen. And Texas is going to get a tripping penalty. I believe that is the 3rd tripping penalty of the game.
Yeah. They've got to stop that.
Yeah, crazy try. Oh, that is, I think 2nd or 3rd on crazy try alone. So 4-on-4 here. Definitely gives Cleveland the benefit. Up to Siege. Siege down low to Deer Hunter.
If you've got good passers, this is opening up the ice for you. It's always a good thing.
Certainly is. And again, Syrup trying to force that one-timer across crease. And Texas has been having none of it all game long.
Now they're on the kill now, Texas.
They are. This is where Cleveland, they need a good chance here. Up to Syrup. He's going to bring it in. Cut to the middle. Holds on to it. Weak wrister on net. Blocked. And that is dumped into the bench. No penalty, though. Toasty can't win the draw, pushed off, but that's okay. Steel City, great job jumping up in the play to pick up that loose puck and dump it down. That will just about kill off the whole penalty here. Cleveland brings it in. Deer Hunter now, down low to Syrup, back to Deer Hunter, tries to go short side, just misses the net.
Apollo was beaten initially, but then he came back and got a stick on that one. Good play.
He did. Toasty now brings it down low. Over to Crazy, back to Toasty. Staying behind the net, trying to get something open up. Can't. Great defense there by Shirk and Siege. Huge slap shot attempt. Nothing out of it, though. Syrup will bring it in. Closing in is the Texas defense. Great play there. But Cleveland able to cause another turnover, and a great play again by Steel City.
Wow, now Steel City is showing me a lot. This defense is amazing.
It really, really is. They're doing a great job shutting down anything. And then we have a great pass from Syrup out front. And it is a 3-2 game. Deer Hunter scores his first goal of the game. So 3-2, if I'm not mistaken, as 12 minutes left in the third period. 1-goal game here. Can Cleveland use this momentum? Deer Hunter will bring it in. Shot on net goes wide. Syrup able to pick it up. Nice poke check there to keep it in the zone by Fucked. Down below, Syrup looking again for that cross. Can't make it happen. Chirp was there, though. Just couldn't get good positioning on that puck and get a nice shot off. Toasty brings it in now. Wrist shot on net, patted away. Cleveland fighting for it. Shirk trying to get it. Battling with Toasty now. Siege behind the net. Big hit on Siege. Crazy. I don't know how that was a save. Crazy with a nice wrap. A bit of a harder wrist shot on net. But somehow Optimus Prime makes the save.
One of the best I think I've seen. So point blank and yet able to get a glove on that.
And that's a true save. You know, he didn't. He had to react to that perfectly to be able to pick it up, and he left the corner just enough to stop that puck. Somehow made a glove save from that close. Another penalty here, though, on the Stars. Rebound off a wrist shot by Deer Hunter. Syrup can't close it, and we have another penalty, this time not on Crazy. It's going to go on Fucked, I believe.
I'm assuming this is probably a Texas timeout.
Yeah.
I think it was 12-7 shots on goal when we left the second period. So if I'm correct, it's now 16-9 shots in favor of Cleveland. So again, still without the score, you might think Cleveland is winning this game, and Texas is. One thing they've done is taken advantage of their opportunities, and that has been a big key.
Shirk attempted to look for Freeze there, but Freeze was Chirp. But Chirp was tied up, so he could not get to that open spot. Battle race to the puck, Crazy, and Shirk. Shirk's going to win it. Pass it up to Syrup, over to Deer Hunter. Deer Hunter just barely offside.
Yeah, I think it was Chirp who was offside on the right. And again, I feel for him. He's a seasoned player, but he's jumping into a game in the third period, and that's
Yeah.
not easy for anybody.
Trying to hold on to a 14-game win streak at that. Toasty with the pass interception. He's going to stop, go behind the net, look for a big wrap. Doesn't go forehand, spins it around to the backhand. Can't get it to work, but Crazy with a nice shot on net. Not able to save it as Optimus Rhyme. It gets pushed away, though, luckily, when he went to reach to his 5-hole. Syrup down low again. Power play just ends. But Cleveland's able to hold momentum in a pass through his own legs, 5-hole on the goalie, it looked like. That is Deer Hunter with his second, scoring a pretty lucky goal to tie it up 3-3. As Cleveland will have no complaints about that.
Whew.
Quick answer attempt, though, by Toasty. You can't get it to go in. Another great save by Optimus Rhyme. As Syrup just dangling his way through, ends up getting the pass picked off by Apollo. And now errant pass results in another puck thrown on net by Deer Hunter, praying for a goal. Syrup again against the boards. One-timer over to Shirk. What a save by Reaper's Rage. That had top shelf written all over it, but good enough positioning by the Stars 10D to make that glove save. So 1:48 left. Can anyone take the regulation winner? Are we going to overtime? Crazy. Over to Toasty. Toasty's going to start bringing it in. Gets in the zone. Bumps into his teammate. Tries to go to the defenseman. But great pressure by the forwards of Cleveland. An offside call. I don't think that would have went in otherwise. But definitely caught Reapers out of position. A quick 30 seconds left.
Yeah, now's the time not to get out of position.
Yeah, exactly.
Oof.
Takes it down low. Quick wrap around short side.
Reaper
but he
left the
cannot.
post too quickly there. He almost got burned, and luckily that shot was right on him.
Absolutely a good save there. Not that he necessarily meant to make a perfect save, but he certainly did what he could, and a wrist shot on net will end the third period. We are going to overtime here. Thursday night's game of the week, Texas and Cleveland.
Well, we were saying 3-1, 3-2. Well, this is about what you would expect. Two good offensive teams, but playing very good defensive pairs tonight. And for the most part, with the exception of mistakes, really, that's a mark of good teams when the reason you score is because you've taken advantage of mistakes by the other team. Both sides have done that tonight. And we're at 3-3 now because of it.
Yeah, and regardless, again, the Deer Hunter's game-tying goal was a bit odd. The pass through his own legs that barely snuck into the net. That was a result of a turnover forced by Cleveland on Texas. It really wasn't something they could avoid with the pressure of the forecheck of Cleveland. So, you make your own luck in a situation like that. You're able to steal the puck and set up some offense, and then eventually it turns into a very odd pass into the net. But regardless, it's a tie game now. 1 point apiece. Certainly makes Texas feel better, but they want that too, and to end the winning streak. Deer Hunter, though, brings the puck in to start overtime. Siege gets it. Goes over to Shirk. Can't make it happen. Breakaway attempt for Crazy, and he scores. Crazy scores to give the overtime win to the Texas Stars. 4-3. What a huge, huge win for the Stars. Siege was put in a tough spot there, and she just tried to get it over to Shirk to find the open ice, but it was poked away by, I believe, Toasty, and he made the pass up to Crazy. Crazy finished with a forehand wrist shot that just beat Optimus Rhyme. So 4-3 win for the Texas Stars. What a game we had.
Wow, and a breakaway at that point, too. You think you'd be a little bit more defensive-minded, but like you said, Siege, tried the best to get back for that one, but you need a little bit more help. I think you need to play a little bit more defensively. You've seen that Texas is able to forecheck well, that they're poke-checking a lot, taking penalties, but still enough to disrupt Cleveland. They're able to get an opportunity where they get a breakaway. And again, bit of breakaways in this game to me are a mistake. I think in any game, in any level of hockey, I think a breakaway is a mistake. And again, this time Texas able to capitalize and score the goal to give them that win and to break the winning streak of Cleveland. And you know that they are not happy about what's happened tonight. And Texas should be thrilled at the way that they played this game and did not ever take any of this lightly at any point. Even with a 3-1 lead, they were playing hard. Cleveland came back, pair of goals from Deer Hunter there in the third period to make it 3-3. But crazy and toasty. And I mentioned them. They forechecked so well tonight. They were on point with their game. Took some penalties, but were able to disrupt Cleveland enough and their game to keep them at 3 goals in this one, and then finally getting that overtime winner at 59 seconds to make it 4-3. The Texas Stars, the winner in this one.
Yeah, in Texas, again, they did a great job defensively where Cleveland, they understood how much time and how many opportunities they had in order to get good chances, but they were able to play good defensively and really just clog the middle. Again, we saw a lot of tries for cross crease one-timers or just up the zone one-timers, D to D, whatever it may be. Syrup was really looking to get it over to Big Freeze early in the game, and Texas recognized that even after just the first time, and they really closed down on it. Did a great job defensively, and they made despite all the time they had, Cleveland had in the zone, it certainly didn't seem that much because they really weren't able to get anything out of it.
Well, again, a final with Texas beating Cleveland 4-3 tonight, and that gives Cleveland double-digit losses now, their 10th loss of the season. Obviously not hurting their standings much at all, but something for Texas to build on. I mean, I think they have a blueprint if they want to watch this game over and over again of how to beat not only Cleveland, but, the better lines. They were aggressive. They were not too aggressive where the defensemen were getting caught back. We didn't see that happen with Apollo and Steele. They were always in position. Reapers played a good game in goal. He had a couple of bad ones that were not his fault that went past him. But overall, the Texas defense played really well, and the fact that their forwards came back and forechecked and came back on defense. Just a good all-around game for the Stars, and absolutely one you should build off of and say, hey, watch this game. The other two lines, watch what we did here, and look at the aggressiveness. Maybe take less penalties for sure, but throw the other team off. Don't let them get to the red line easily. Make them work for it. They made Cleveland work for everything, and really Cleveland again just capitalized on a couple of mistakes that Texas made, and so the Stars should look at this game and use it as a learning tool and say, okay, if we're going to go far in this playoff run coming up, if we're going to make the playoffs and go far, we have to be able to play everyone this way. We have to be aggressive. We have to be smart and aggressive, and then we have to be able to capitalize on opportunities. And whenever you get forwards who are forechecking like that and who are disrupting the other team, that's a godsend to the defense, because then they know that the passes are going to be disjointed. It's not going to be a solid play coming out of the other end, and you just need to hold position and be in the slot, and you will be successful most of the time. And Apollo and Steel City knew that. They played that way tonight, and just a good all around game for the Stars, and they are going to be very interesting to watch. I don't know if any of us thought an awful lot about their chances being good, but from what I've seen tonight, this is a team or a lineup that I think can beat anybody. I mean, they beat Cleveland. To me, they can beat anybody in the league. And when you have that ability on your team, you can be dangerous at any point to anyone. And I think the Stars have proven that tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think the thing going forward, like you mentioned, what they need to focus on, and hey, this is the game we just played. Make sure you watch. Make sure you see what we did, because that's what we need to do. it's definitely easy to be sound defensively, know your positioning, know how to play, and be able to cut off any high chance opportunities. The big thing is going forward is everyone's going to make mistakes once in a while during games. It's just how you respond to those mistakes and just how big the mistakes are. Because again, if you give Cleveland a couple more breakaway opportunities in that game, just by chance, Cleveland will certainly capitalize on at least one or two of them, and that could be a whole different game. So they were able to limit their mistakes, and the mistakes they did make, they were able to get back on, defend, and cancel them out as quickly as they could. So that's just the big thing going forward. You're able to they easily should be able to keep up that defensive style and the way they were able to attack Cleveland and really subdue their chances. But you just have to, nobody's going to play perfect. So when one of those imperfections comes up, you really need to know how to capitalize and make sure it doesn't affect you in a negative way.
Looking to see what Bakersfield did tonight. The Condors losing to the Wild 4-2, and so that means that the Stars are now tied for second place in the Western Pacific. Both teams at 76 points, and both those teams now 12 points behind Stockton, pending. Well, actually now 14 points behind Stockton since they beat the Griffins 10-3. So the Stars catching up. They had something to play for tonight, and that was a possibility of tying Bakersfield for second place, and they have done that now to finish up the week. And Texas now 9-0-2 in their I think that's 9-0-1 in their past 10 games. 4-game winning streak for the Texas Stars, and so they're putting together a little run of their own. And they lost to Tucson earlier this week 2-1, but really, a solid week for this team, who have played well the last couple of weeks. 2 losses this week, 7-2 on the week for them, 4 wins in a row to end week 6. So they have been pretty solid the last couple of weeks, and it looks like this team is starting to take off a little bit. They'll enter into week 8, hitting a lot of the Eastern teams: Grand Rapids, Bridgeport, Hershey, Wilkes-Barre, Scranton, and a couple of other games that might be a little bit easier. They'll end their week with Providence next week, and that'll be a good test for them as well. So we'll be watching this Texas Star team to see where they go, but they have been impressive tonight in their 4-3 win against Cleveland.
Yeah, certainly were. Again, we'll see how they're able to move forward. They're comfortably in a playoff spot. It should be fun to see how Texas plays the rest of the season.
Any final thoughts on this game tonight, Goose? What did we learn from watching this one?
Well, we learned Cleveland's beatable. If the 9 losses and 5 overtime losses didn't make that obvious, it's not. No team is perfect. No team's going to run the table the entire season. There are ways to beat teams for sure, and this was one of those ways. Just play sound defense, see their tendencies, and just really try to react to them. So they did a great job there, and I think Cleveland's fine. Texas is fine. Cleveland just can't beat themselves up too much over this, especially with the lag out from Big Freeze. So it was a good game all around, though. Very fun to watch.
Well, that is it for us tonight on Thursday Night Hockey, as we will say so long as the Texas Stars beating Cleveland in overtime on a goal by Crazy Try, making it 4-3, Texas the winner, and Cleveland now with their 14-game winning streak snapped to end the week, and they will look to bounce back next week as we head into Week 8, now Week 7 finished. And thanks again to GooseChuck for doing play-by-play tonight. This is TSIBS saying so long, and we will see you again next Thursday for Thursday Night Hockey right here on LeagueGaming.com and the YouTube channel.